Okay, make up your mind. Like, I feel as though people are just finding things to gripe about in regards to Daemon's character all of a sudden because he choked Rhaenyra. Daemon choking Rhaenyra isn't even one of the top 10 things this nefarious bastard is going to get up to going forward in this series. And it's going to be a blip on the radar of the things that are probably going to turn people off to the character 2 years from now when the show eventually returns. But one of the attacks that I'm seeing, which is super weird, is from people who said that they read the books, but then at the exact same time are complaining about the fact that Daemon wasn't in the room when Rhaenyra was struggling to give birth to their daughter. That he essentially abandoned Rhaenyra to occupy himself with other tasks like planning the war, talking to the King's Guard, talking down to Viserys, things along those lines. And referring back to the book, I'm going to actually bring up Daemon's past because there's actually a reason why he's not in the birthing room in any way, shape, and form. And there also is a reason as to why, after basically the stillbirth and the death of their daughter, he goes to the beach and has a mental breakdown. This all goes back to when Daemon was a boy. Growing up, him and Viserys, his father was Balon. Yes, his father was Balon and his mother was, if I remember correctly, Alyssa Targaryen. Now, something interesting, and we're going to get to that in a second, is that she was the first woman in Daemon's life to die during childbirth. She passed away trying to give birth to Daemon and Viserys' youngest brother, Aegon. The child did not survive, the mother did not survive, and they both perished. Now, a few years later, and by a few years I mean when Viserys was an adult, Emma, Viserys' wife, also passed away from childbirth. At that point in time, Daemon was kind of divorced from the idea of being in the room if and when any of his children were to be born. He'd lost his mother and he'd watched Viserys lose the love of his life in Emma, and it had affected him a certain type of way. Of course, he's not the type of individual who would come outwardly and say that, this is my trauma and this is what I'm dealing with when I'm in the room. But going forward, when he was with Laena, one of the things I didn't like that the show didn't do was show just how much Daemon doted on Laena. And not only on Laena, but also on their daughters. I kind of feel as though the two characters who've essentially drawn the short straw in the show in regards to development are both of Daemon's daughters with Laena. Because Daemon loved Laena. In the books, it said that he flew from Dragonstone to King's Landing, trying to gather all of the best maesters that he knew to take them back to where Laena was to try and save her life and prevent the death of both her and the baby. And before he could return, she passed away. And he finds her at the bottom of the steps, feet away from Vhagar, and he picks her up and carries her back into the bedroom and he lays her down. I kind of wish we had gotten just a little bit more of the tender Daemon, but this is the third woman that he was close to, because he was also close to both Emma and Viserys when they were growing up and in the early stages of their relationship. But this is the third woman in his life that he was close to that died in childbirth. So when Rhaenyra's having her complications, he freaks the fuck out. He attempts to occupy his mind with everything else that's going on. Think about the war. Think about what Otto may be doing. Raise the defenses. Do this, do that. Send ravens. Anything to take his mind off the fact that Rhaenyra's having a difficult birth, because he's terrified that she's basically going to end up like her mother. She's going to end up like Laena. She's going to end up like his own mother. And when the child is born and it's stillborn, he breaks down. But he can't break down around the people around him. So he leaves the castle, he finds an abandoned beach, and he has his emotional breakdown away from prying eyes. That's what the emotional breakdown was about. Yes, the emotional breakdown came from the fact that he lost his daughter with Rhaenyra, but there was a myriad of other things that are going on inside of Daemon Targaryen's mind in regards to both Rhaenyra being absolutely shit-faced terrified that she's gonna die in childbirth, like his ex-wife, like his mother, like her mother, and then reaching the other side and only losing his daughter, and feeling like a sense of like sick relief that his wife survived, but at the exact same time grieving over the fact that his daughter has passed away. And this is compounded by the fact that he also has to deal with the mixed emotions that Viserys is also gone, and that Viserys may have been murdered, and that Rhaenyra's claim to the throne has basically been usurped, and he has enemies on the way. So forgive Daemon if for 5 seconds, well, not even 5 seconds, if throughout the entirety of Rhaenyra's troubled birth, that he was just not in the room. He was literally trying to hold it together, both physically and literally. And when he finally got a chance to let it go, when he goes down to the beach and he has that breakdown, that is what that breakdown is. That is that breakdown where he cries to himself. He's crying for his brother. He's crying for the daughter who passed away. He's crying for the fact that he has sick relief that Rhaenyra survived. He's crying for the memories of his mother, of Aemma, of Laena. Daemon Targaryen is going through a lot of shit. Like, I know a lot of people are writing character assassination on the internet. In my opinion, Daemon Targaryen remains probably one of the best, most complex written fantasy characters that we've received in maybe the last 10 years. Maybe since the original Game of Thrones run. I would say that the other character who was just as well written as Daemon was Jaime Lannister, until they completely fucked that up with like the last 2 seasons. But yeah, that's please. Like, I understand that, you know, we've decided to attack Daemon's character because he did something to a character that we like, but at the exact same time, just because that situation happened doesn't exactly mean that the entirety of the character suddenly becomes irrelevant because he would never no. Like, he's a complex character. Daemon's a character that he's allowed to cry, and then he's allowed to probably kill one of your favorite characters in the future. But yeah, end of the video. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Peace.